Shalom, 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 brothers and sisters. This is an end time alert number 19. Yashar'al's Great Migration, Part 6. Yashar'al's Great Migration, Part 6. My brothers and sisters, if you're listening, and if you have listened to the other segment, I want you to know that I am picking up from Part 5 with more components that are critical to Yashar'al's Great Migration. As I had mentioned in times past, I believe it is a process. It's a process that many of us have failed to realize that Yahuah will prepare us. So let me continue on with some more components to this process in which Yashar'al will experience and is experiencing. Another process in the bringing together of Yashar'al includes leadership and structure. If you look at Exodus 4:29, here it reads, "And Moshe went with Aharon and gathered together all the elders of the children of Yashar'al." So here we see that there was a time when Moshe and Aaron, or Aharon, gathered all the elders of the children of Yashar'al. So yes, there will be structure, there will be leadership, there will be structure in Yashar'al's Great Migration. And I'm quite sure if you do a search, my brothers and sisters, you will find many examples of leadership and structure as it relates to the Father when it comes to delivering His promises and fulfilling His scriptures. So know this, and I mention again, it will not be a democracy. So He will be training us up to know when to yield to which individuals that He's using, that He's chosen or called, as this structure of leadership begin to form in these last days. And I believe as the Father make do in fulfilling His scriptures, that He will prove to each of us whom He's using. I believe He will nurture us, He will reaffirm and affirm His actions, His words, living words and living instructions. And I believe they will line up with the scriptures in whole. Another component in Yashar'al's gathering, besides leadership and structure that will be established, is communications. Communications, how we communicate with one another. How the Father communicates to us and guiding us. Being able to reason with one another righteously. Let me read a passage of scripture. This is Joshua 6th chapter. And it's regarding Jericho, as many know it. So I'm going to start at the second verse, Joshua 6, verse 2. And I'm going to continue reading until I complete the 6th chapter and the 20th verse. I'm going to read Joshua 6, 2 through 20. And I would encourage you to read the entire chapter. I would encourage you to study the book so that I am not misrepresenting what this passage is saying. Here it says, "And Yahuah said to Yehoshua, See, I have given Jericho and its sovereign, mighty, brave men into your hand. And you shall go around the city, all the men of battle, go around the city once. Do this for 6 days. And let 7 priests bear 7 ram's horns before the ark. And on the 7th day go around the city 7 times while the priests blow the horns. And it shall be, when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when you hear the sound of the horn, that all the people shout with a great shout. And the wall of the city shall fall down flat. And the people shall go up, every man straight before him." I'm now at verse 6. Joshua 6:6. "And Yehoshua son of Nun called the priests and said to them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let the 7 priests let the 7 priests bear 7 ram horns before the ark of Yahuah. And he said to the people, Pass over and go around the city, and let him who is armed pass over before the ark of the covenant. And it came to be, when Yehoshua had spoken to the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 ram's horns before Yahuah passed over and blew the horns, and the ark of the covenant of Yahuah went after them. And the armed men went before the priests, who blew the horns, and the rear guard came up after the ark, going on and blowing the horns. But Yahusha had commanded the people, saying, Do not shout or cause your voice to be heard, nor let any word come out of your mouth until the day I say to you, Shout. Then you shall shout. And the ark of Yahuah went around the city, going around once, and they came into the camp and stayed in the camp. And Yahusha arose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of Yahuah. And 7 priests, I'm at verse 13, Joshua 6:13, and 7 priests bearing 7 rams' horns before the ark of Yahuah were walking, going on. They blew the horns, and the armed men went before them. But the rear guard came after the ark of Yahuah, going on and blowing the horns. And the second day they went around the city once and turned to the camp. Thus they did this 6 days. And it came to be on the 7th day they rose up early about the dawning of the day and went around the city 7 times in this way. Only that day they went around the city 7 times. And it came to be at the 7th time, when the priest blew the horns, that Yahusha said to the people, Shout, for Yahuah has given you the city. And the city shall be put under the ban. It and all that is in it belongs to Yahuah. Only Rahab the whore is to live, she and all who are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. I'm at 18th verse. And you by all means guard yourselves from which is under the ban, lest you come under the ban when you take of that which is under the ban, and make the camp of Yashar'al accursed, and shall trouble it. I'm at verse 19. Joshua 6:19. But all the silver and gold and vessels of bronze and iron are set apart to Yahuah. They go into the treasury of Yahuah. And the people shouted when the priest blew the horns. And it came to be, when the people heard the sound of the horn, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down, and the people went up into the city, and every man straight before him, and they captured the city. This is talking about Jericho, as many of us may have heard about the walls of Jericho came tumbling down. I would encourage you, my brothers and sisters, if necessary, to rewind, to go back at the beginning of this read, or to read that chapter, and you will see there were details that Yahuah gave them. There was a process in which Yashar'al was prepared. They received instructions. They followed those instructions, and then Yahuah proved that his word was true, and the walls came tumbling down. So in Yashar'al's great migration, my brothers and sisters, there will be communications. There will be reasoning. Because some people will argue, well, who gave you those instructions? And how do we know those instructions are right? And how can we prove that those instructions are from the Father? So it's going to be some discussion, my brother. It's going to be some debate. It's going to be some reasoning. It's going to be some communication going on. But just as Yahuah proved in this example and many other examples, the Father will prove whom he's communicating to and what is necessary. So let us prepare our minds, bodies, and spirit to learn the voice of the Father and respond to his Spirit accordingly. Another component is patience. Let me read 3 verses as it relates to patience. Psalms 27:14. Wait on Yahuah, be strong, and let him strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on Yahuah. That was Psalms 27:14. Psalms 37:34. Wait on Yahuah, and guard his way, and he shall exalt you to inherit the earth. When the wrongdoers are cut off, you shall see. That was Psalms 37:34. And Proverbs 20:22. Do not say, I repay evil. Wait for Yahuah, and he saves you. Again, Proverbs 20:22. Do not say, I repay evil. Wait for Yahuah, and he saves you. So there's patience. There's a time when we must learn how to wait on the Father and watch him prove what is right. And waiting on Yahuah May means waiting, and he may speak through a brother or a sister, or open the mouth of a donkey, or cause the rocks to cry out to us. Let us have the spirit to be obedient and a ready mind to worship and obey him, that we may experience true and righteous discernment. Discernment when the Spirit of Yahusha reveals to us what he's saying in spirit and in truth, that will line up with his scriptures. So let us be aware that there comes a time where we must learn. It would be wise for us to learn when to pause, when to have patience, and when to know that the Father will respond in due season. And another component, my brothers and sisters, is Yahuwah's proof. You hear me say over and over, the proof. We all know about the story of Noah's Ark. Many of us know about Joseph's story when he prepared the food before the famine came. We know about Moshe, and if not, the time when the ground opened, when there was a controversy on who was being led by the Spirit of Yahuwah, which person, which camp was right, and the ground opened up and swallowed the rebellious group. We know about Aaron's rod budding. If not, I would suggest that you research that. I didn't put the citation here, so I do apologize. And many of us have heard about Sodom and Gomorrah. I will say this, and I say this sincerely, my brothers and sisters. This is an end time alert. The judgment of Yahuwah has begun and will intensify in the coming years. It will intensify in the forms of whirlwind and storms, whether they be natural disasters, natural catastrophes, or man-made. Either or, it is the fruit of our rebellion. It is the fruit of our disobedience to the Most High Father. It is the fruit of blatantly throwing up all types of unrighteousness before the Father. And the fruit of that sin, the fruit of that rebellion, is coming to haunt us, so to speak. It will be revealed. It is a method in which the Father has stated, the fruit of our rebellion. We will be reaping what we sowed. And for those of us who have a heart to worship and obey, we will become humbled first, because we understand and will be able to identify. Many of us will. But there are the rebellious who are going to have excuses. They're going to lean towards New World Order and all these other types of things going. But as for Yashar'al, prepare, my brothers and sisters, and keep these additional components in mind. Leadership and structure will exist. There will be communication. We will learn how to reason with one another. We will learn patience and know how to wait and watch the Father respond. And we will see Yahuwah's proof. Proof on whom he's guiding, proof on his instructions. Just know this. Whatever backup plans we have, whatever we have in mind, thinking that we're going to weather this storm that's getting ready to come as a result of this severe global drought, this severe famine, severe food shortage, at some point we will be shaken and we will be moved, many of us. And again, I'm compelled to believe that the Father will instill in our hearts, in our ears, those who are designated to participate in Yashar'al's great migration in the United States. He will put on our hearts to move towards Virginia. I don't know when that time, and I don't know where in Virginia, but know this, my brothers and sisters. If my words are true, if they're coming from the Most High, each and every one who will be participating in such, you will receive that conviction directly from the Father. You'll receive it and you'll know. It won't be based off my words. It will be based off of the Father, the Most High's proof. Pray on these matters, for these are serious times, my brothers and sisters. Pray seriously and earnestly, and have a heart to worship and obey him. Shalom. Shalom. May the Father have mercy as we struggle to hear his voice and walk in obedience. Shalom, my brothers, and stay tuned for more incoming alerts. Again, this has been an end time alert. Yashar'al's great migration. The process has begun. Shalom.